It is revolutionary for any trans person to choose to be seen and visible in a world that tells us we should not exist. Do not allow people to dim your shine because they are blinded. Tell them to put on some sunglasses, because we were born this way. There will not be a magic day when we wake up and it's now okay to express ourselves publicly. We make that day by doing things publicly until it's simply the way things are. Darling, I want my gay rights now. Of course, attitudes change, but only because brave people like Ellen DeGeneres jump into the fire to make them change. And if I hadn't seen her on TV, I would have thought, I could never be on TV. They don't let LGBT people on TV. And more than that, I would have gone on thinking that I was an alien and that I maybe didn't even have a right to be here. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. People used to think I was a monster. And for a long time, I believed them. But after a while, you learn to ignore the names that people call you and you just trust who you are. To be yourself is truly a revolutionary act. And I think more and more people should try it, because it's gotten me a pretty cool life. Never allow yourself to be made a victim. Accept no one's definition of your life. Define yourself. The single best thing about coming out of the closet is that nobody can insult you by telling you what you've just told them. How can people change their minds about us if they don't know who we are? Personally, coming out was one of the most important things I've ever done, lifting from my shoulders the millstone of lies that I hadn't even realized I was carrying. Owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing we'll ever do. I believe that marriage isn't between a man and a woman, but between love and love. We deserve to experience love fully, equally, without shame, and without compromise. Self-love means that I have a relationship with myself built on trust and loyalty. I trust myself to have my own back, so my allegiance is to the voice within. To be fully seen by somebody, then, and be loved anyhow. This is a human offering that can border on miraculous. The more I've been able to learn about gay rights and equal pay and gender equity and racial inequality, the more that it all intersects. You can't really pick it apart. It's all intertwined. We cannot be anti-racist if we are homophobic or transphobic. All black lives include those of poor transgender black women, perhaps the most violated and oppressed of all the black intersectional groups. It is important and vital is to keep that education for critical consciousness around intersectionalities, so that people are able to not focus on one thing and blame one group, but be able to look holistically at the way intersectionality informs all of us: whiteness, gender, sexual preferences, etc. Only then can we have a realistic handle on the political and cultural world we live within. Gender is between your ears and not between your legs. Being transgender is not just a medical transition. It's discovering who you are, living your life authentically, loving yourself, and spreading that love towards other people and accepting one another, no matter the difference. We're all born naked, and the rest is drag. It is time that we all see gender as a spectrum instead of two sets of opposing ideals. Gender is not what people look like to other people, it is what we know ourselves to be. No one else should be able to tell you who you are. That's for you to decide. Man and woman are two of many, stars in a constellation that do not compete but amplify one another's shine. No person is your friend who demands your silence, or denies your right to grow. Being an ally can't just be about nodding when someone says something we agree with, important as that is. It must also be about action. It's our job to stand up for those who are not at the table when life-altering decisions are made. When we're free to love anyone we choose, when this world's big enough for all different views, when we all can worship from our own kind of pew, then, we shall be free. If public figures came out of the closet, then the LGBT kids who saw them on TV would feel safe before they even knew why they felt dangerous. Maybe if enough people came out of the closet, gay kids would never feel dangerous. Maybe we could have a world where we could all just live. We may not all agree, but why can't we just all live? We need to own that if you truly are taking stands against hate and oppression, you should not fund hate and oppression. Period. We have to be visible. We should not be ashamed of who we are. The whole issue of sexuality is so gray. I'm just trying to acknowledge that fluidity, that grayness, which has always existed. But maybe only now are we allowed to start talking about it. Love demands expression. It will not stay still, stay silent, be good, be modest, be seen and not heard, no. It will break out in tongues of praise, the high note that smashes the glass and spills the liquid. Each step forwards to become the person we are makes it harder to go backwards, to return to the shadowy, private world of closed doors and shuttered windows. The experience, the awakening of one's true self, after being so long suppressed, can never be adequately explained with language. When I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I am afraid. If I wait for someone else to validate my existence, it will mean that I'm shortchanging myself. There's nothing wrong with you. There's a lot wrong with the world you live in. This community has fought and continues to fight a war of acceptance, a war of tolerance and the most relentless bravery. You are the definition of courage, do you know that? Never stop believing in yourself. You had it all along. For a lot of my life, I was judged for my gender representation or my sexual orientation, or what people assumed of me, and every single time my goal has been to combat that and show my greatness. I love that I am trans. And I love that I am queer. And the more I hold myself close and fully embrace who I am, the more I dream, the more my heart grows and the more I thrive. Our society needs to recognize the unstoppable momentum toward unequivocal civil equality for every gay, lesbian, bisexual and transgender citizen of this country. I believe that telling our stories, first to ourselves and then to one another in the world, is a revolutionary act. We need, in every community, a group of angelic troublemakers. History isn't something you look back at and say it was inevitable. It happens because people make decisions that are sometimes very impulsive and of the moment, but those moments are cumulative realities. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe.